Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're taking something incredibly familiar and treating it with absolute technical reverence. We are looking at the exact science behind the perfect hot dog topping. We're not just making dinner here, we are scientifically deconstructing Coney sauce. If you've ever wondered why the chili at that legendary local diner tastes, feels, and behaves so much differently than the stuff you make at home on the stove, well, you're in the exact right place to find out. So, right off the bat, we face a primary engineering problem. Just look at the stark difference here. Eating chili is thick, it's chunky, it's loaded with beans, and you eat it out of a bowl with a spoon. Coney sauce, on the other hand, is a highly emulsified, fine, spreadable meat paste designed to blanket a frankfurter. Think about the physical mechanics for a second. Placing heavy, chunky stew on a curved, cylindrical sausage practically guarantees it's going to fall right off onto your plate or worse, down your shirt. A true chili cheese dog requires a dedicated sauce.
Okay, let's dive into our mission briefing. We'll systematically work through 1. The Coney sauce matrix, 2. Protocol alpha, meat emulsion, 3. Protocol beta, flavor chemistry, 4. Protocol gamma, turkey hacks, and finally, 5. The purist counter-analysis.
Starting off with Section 1, the Coney sauce matrix, the physics of the hot dog. To really understand authentic Coney sauce, we have to look at why standard home recipes fail the physical stress test of a hot dog bun. Casual home cooks love adding beans to stretch a recipe. Economically, makes total sense. But on a hot dog, which is already a slick, curved surface, those beans literally act as ball bearings. They completely destroy the structural matrix of the sauce, causing the whole topping to just roll right off the meat. That is exactly why authentic diner and state fair sauces strictly prohibit beans. We are engineering a topping to stick, not to slide. Moving to Section 2, Protocol Alpha, Meat Emulsion, the secret technique. Let's see how we actually build that structural matrix. Here is a bold, absolutely crucial rule. Do not sear the meat. To achieve that fine, almost gritless texture of traditional diner chili, you must completely violate a standard culinary rule. Normally, you brown ground meat to develop flavor, right? But browning causes proteins to link together into large, tough clumps. If we do that here, we ruin the texture. We have to break the rules to get that signature consistency. So, here is exactly how you execute this rule-breaking technique. It sounds completely counterintuitive, I know, but you start by putting a pound of raw protein directly into a cold pot. Then, pour a cup of cold water or broth right over the top of it. Now, step 3 is the real trick. Before you even think about turning on the heat, you aggressively mash that cold liquid into the raw meat with a potato masher or a whisk until it forms a uniform paste. Only then do you turn the heat to medium-high and bring it to a simmer, stirring continuously. And this brilliantly illustrates the science behind the madness. What we've just created is a meat emulsion. By boiling a meat paste, we're engineering a thermodynamic solution. The liquid, combined with that continuous stirring, actually prevents those proteins from cross-linking into large chunks as they heat up. Instead of a lumpy stew, this ensures that fine, spreadable texture that is absolutely mandatory to grip the hot dog. It's pure culinary chemistry in action. Let's transition to Section 3, Protocol Beta, Flavor Chemistry, the spice and acid matrix. Once our meat is simmering and the water begins evaporating after about 10 minutes or so, it's time to build our chemical flavor profile. For the base, we add 8 ounces of plain tomato sauce and a 1/4 cup of ketchup. This isn't just to make it taste like tomatoes, actually. It introduces necessary sucrose and acetic acid. Next is the savory bridge. We need 1/2 cup of white onion and a clove of garlic, but notice the specific instruction here. They must be minced almost to a paste. Why? Because they need to completely dissolve into the sauce to maintain that smooth texture. Finally, the spices: chili powder, cumin, yellow mustard, onion powder, and kosher salt. This provides that classic, nostalgic diner flavor profile we all instantly recognize. On to Section 4, Protocol Gamma, turkey hacks, troubleshooting the lipid deficit. Because let's face it, sometimes we want a lighter option at the cookout. So the big question is, can you just swap an 80-20 ground beef for a 93% lean ground turkey without ruining the texture? The short answer is yes, but absolutely not without some chemical intervention. Making a direct 1-to-1 substitution introduces a severe structural flaw. Ground turkey has a massive lack of fat and glutamates compared to beef. If left uncorrected, your Coney sauce is going to turn into a dry, chalky, flavorless disaster. To fix this, we artificially hack the system. We tackle that lipid deficit by aggressively mashing 1.5 tablespoons of butter or olive oil right into the cold turkey and water mixture from the very start. This lipid addition restores the necessary mouthfeel and stops the chalkiness from ever forming. Then we tackle the flavor. The umami addition requires 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce and a teaspoon of soy sauce mixed into the tomato base. This cleverly replicates that deep, savory resonance that naturally occurs in beef. It is a brilliant workaround. Finally, we arrive at Section 5, the purist counter-analysis, the thermodynamic reduction, and the stress test. But before we face the red team's critique, we have to finish the final cooking step, the thermodynamic reduction. You reduce the heat to low and simmer the mixture uncovered for 30 to 40 minutes. You absolutely must evaporate the excess water until it reaches a very specific consistency. It should sit on a spoon without weeping any liquid, easily spreading like jam. If you skip this evaporation step, that excess water will soak right into your hot dog bun, leaving you with a soggy, structurally compromised mess. Patience here is key for integrity. Now, as with all good science, we've got to acknowledge our biases. True Texas chili con carne purists will vehemently argue that introducing tomato sauce and ketchup renders this entire formulation completely invalid as a true chili. To them, what we've just engineered is relegated to being a sweet, spiced meat gravy. And we are imparting this objectively. This formulation is heavily biased toward the American diner and state fair standard, not your authentic Texas bowl of red. So I leave you with this final thought to ponder at your next summer cookout. Based on the rigid physical requirements of the hot dog bun and the culinary rule-breaking techniques we've explored in this explainer today, what are you actually putting on your hot dog? Is Coney sauce a true chili or just a brilliantly engineered sweet meat gravy? Whatever you call it, you now have the exact science to make it stick perfectly. Keep questioning what's on your plate, and thanks for joining me to explore the science of the everyday.